Welcome to this Check Inspectors Safety Seminar. It's a pleasure to be able to join with you again this year. So that I don't have to keep on repeating it a dozen times when people ask me. No, my wife didn't take to my nose with a frying pan. But it is, in fact, an interesting reflection for us as to how the mistakes that we make when we're younger can come back to have an impact on us. When I was young, I used to work on a farm. We never wore a hat. We never used makeup. We never used sunscreen. And I worked also in a skin yard, spraying arsenic. And the only thing we were told then was don't swallow it because it'll have a bit of an impact on you. But you didn't wear any protective clothing, nor did you wear anything which might keep the arsenic from flowing over you. As a result, today I'm having the impacts of the cancer that comes from all of that. I lose a bit of the ear last year, and they took the top off my nose last week, and they'll just keep on taking more out. But it is a reflection for us in terms of our health and safety. Do we look out for ourselves as well as looking out for others, which is a theme for this particular industry, looking out for each other. And I want to come back to that because one of the things that I have been asked to speak to you about is our role in health and safety in an environment where certain companies are experiencing distress. You are seen by your peers as gatekeepers for health and safety. You mightn't see yourself as that. You mightn't always appreciate that that's how your peers see you. But not only do your peers see you in that way, but so does management. Management respects the role that you have for looking out for the health, the welfare, the safety of your fellow workers. And that is something that I want to just comment on in this period where certain companies are experiencing distress. A few months ago, the Minister asked myself and the officers from the department and representatives from Coal Services to go and have a chat with him about the issues that we need to keep in mind where companies are experiencing distress. Because if we look at a number of inquiries that have been conducted when there's been a disaster, most of those disasters emanate from a lack of investment, lack of care in relation to important safety matters. But in respect of all of them, there were indices very early in the piece that there were problems. And the people who are able to pick up on those indices are in fact the workers. They convey it to you. You pick it up. But what do we do with it? When I talked about looking out for ourselves and looking out for our others, one of the things that's also been noted is that we tend to, in these circumstances, look out for ourselves in that we worry about our continued employment. We worry about being able to sustain our family if the company is going to go into difficulties. But are we, in fact, looking out for ourselves and looking out for our family when we don't look out for the safety of ourselves and the safety of those around us, but think that we can put these things off till tomorrow because to invest in them could otherwise put the company into further difficulties? And I leave you with that challenge, because our own health and safety should always be a preeminent consideration, because that's what your families want it to be. The people around you that you work with want all of us to work in an environment where our own health and safety is a preeminent consideration. And I said my opening comments that you're the gatekeepers. You're seen by your peers as the gatekeepers. you're seen by management and respected by management, although they mightn't always tell you that, respected by management as the gatekeepers of the work, health and safety of everyone that's around you. So in a period where companies, and we know that certain mines are currently experiencing distress, should we worry about the financial welfare of the company and keeping employment going before we think about the health, the safety, the welfare of all of the workers? There is only one answer to that. It is the work, health and safety, the welfare of yourself and everybody around you that's preeminent. So that when you do see things which are matters of concern, when you do see things that require attention, then always encourage those that you work with to continue to raise the issues, to raise them with you, to raise them with the regulator, to raise them with the company, because that's our responsibility. So where is the Mine Safety Advisory Council going to fit within this particular framework? We've got a number of matters which are on our agenda, and some of you will have heard me talk about these before, but in the same context it's appropriate that I do so. Again, we've got 5 strategic action areas which we're going to be focusing on, and the first one that I want to make some comment about is, again in this particular context, is the Associated Non-Technical Skills Project, where MSAC is developing an action learning program and roundtables are being proposed so that we can look at how do we move forward in giving people in the workplace the skills, the confidence, the leadership capabilities to address just what I was adverting to. Where we see an issue, having the confidence, being able to be the team leaders, even though you're just a worker. Every one of you are capable of being team leaders, to be able to say, this is the way we should move forward as we look out for ourselves and we look out for our mates. We've all got the skills to be able to do what we know, what we've been there employed to do. But do we have the skills at the workforce to be able to stand up and say, this is the way in which we should move forward? And that's what that Associated Non-Technical Skills Project's all about. We're also wanting to look at doing more in this area of addressing the culture of industries, the work, health and safety culture, and to be able to measure that culture so that within the workplace, when somebody says, we're putting money in to being able to enhance the skills and the capabilities of people in our workplace, can we measure any improvements? And work is being done on that so that these investments are able to be meaningfully measured, reported upon, and where there are weaknesses identified, then management and you as the team leaders are able to say, let's put the resources into improving those particular areas. And interestingly, a number of companies have already come on board with this particular project. I've got to say I had some doubt as to whether they would initially, because if you've got a capability to measure where you are at and to be able to objectively assess where your weaknesses are, management sometimes doesn't want to know where those weaknesses are. The fact that some of the major companies are coming on board and saying, we want to move down this path to drive improvement, I think is a pleasurable position to be in. Another area that we're working on, and then I want to let you get on with your own discussions, is this issue of better and more timely communication of the results of inquiries into incidents within your industry. We are aware that sometimes out of inquiries it can take months, if not years, to get information out to you about what was the cause and what should be done to avoid these incidents again. and there's some discussion papers out at the moment on this, and MSAC's working through that so that we can in fact have a focus primarily on safety, so that we can get in, look at a particular incident, focus on safety, work out the cause, get out reports on changes and improvements, and if there's still to be prosecutions, then those prosecutions go where they may. But let us know what's going on in terms of improving safety within your industry. With those a few messages, and I notice that some of the things that are on your program today are going to have some impact on these sort of things that we're working on. I want to say thank you for the work that you do in your own minds, with the people that work around you. As I said, for the leadership that you provide, because you, in my view, are the gatekeepers, and it's the leadership that you provide which ensures improved work health and safety within your own environment. So good luck with your discussions today.